Hi everybody, my name is AVERY SUKIENIK, and I went to the Pittsboro Regional yesterday and got 7th place. Main reason for making the deck profile is, one, I think the deck is pretty cool, and although some things are not going to be very surprising about it, but also this is my first top 8 finish, and I've been working especially hard this season to try and get this, and so even though it's not exactly where I wanted to be, which was undefeated obviously, it was still a pretty good accomplishment in my opinion, at least for me. And so we're on to the next. But for the meantime, I just wanted to go over the card choices, some of which are going to be very obvious, but some of which are interesting. So I played Vanquish K9 for this event. I think Vanquish K9 is probably the best of the 3 decks. I just don't think Draco Tail has enough pushes, and I think Yummy has like 50 outs to all of its end boards, and I just don't think the tech cards in that deck that you want to be able to play in that deck really enable it to play the game fully, especially with the conflicts with Obedience Schooled, and I just thought this deck gave me, even though it can be a little clunky at times, it gave me the most flexibility. And I don't like Malice, so I didn't want to play that. So unsurprisingly, I played 3 Fualos. Wow, crazy. Card's nuts. I drew it a lot today, it was really good. I played 3 Ash. It's a fire attribute, which is important for the deck, but also it's good for stopping Charmies, although this deck, to be honest, really doesn't care about that much. This card, I played 3 Nib. I think I kind of bought the hype with this card. I think it was okay. Surprisingly, all of my Draco Tail opponents decided to continuously play into this card, but it didn't phenomenally do well in that matchup either. It was fine. I would probably change this in the future. Originally I was playing 1. You play it for Small World, which I'll get to later, because it's you can bridge into it pretty easily with another cool card in this deck. But besides that, it was fine. I nibbed a Mitsu player, that was funny. 1 Phantasme. I really want to run 3 of this card. I know Santoli runs 3. And I think it's a good card this format. Problem is, if you queue up against Draco Tail and they just decide not to play into Nib, which is correct, they won't summon any links, and this guy just sits in your hand the whole time. And they don't summon links during their turn either. But against Yummy, it's phenomenal. 1 Mag. This card is broken. I don't know. I've never been mad when I see this card. I almost win every single game in which it resolves. Surprising. Dimensional Shifter, I decided to main deck this card because I don't really see a matchup where it's bad. Even in the mirror match, it's pretty good because one of their counter plays is to have Azuna, right? Can't Azuna under Shifter. I mean, you can, but you'll lose the game if you activate the effect on field. And people are pretty much off Paradise Smasher too, and so there's not really much punish for that either. On top of the fact, it makes every Draco Tail matchup, although I drew it 0 times into those matchups yesterday, incredibly free. And then Shocker, here's the Azuna package. I say package in this case because I'm not playing a lot of the heavy K9 deck, so I just played the 3 Azuna, I play the 1 Lupus, and then I play the 1 Jokul. Jokul kind of sucks going second if you expect a Yummy meta. If you expect a not Yummy meta, then this card's crazy going second. Them being able to surprise bounce it or Book of Moon them on summon because their ignition effects on summon to search sucks. The only time it's really good is if you're like summoning a Jiaolong or a Holy Sue that already has its effect live. But if for that to be the case, it kind of means that you already had a strong hand, so it didn't really add anything. So I really just wanted this to be a hand trap instead, in which most of the deck is, like about half the deck is hand traps anyway. And so on top of, but I still played 1 Jokul, right? It's a dark attribute, it's searchable, it can help you, when you go first, establish a better board, and I didn't really want to side it, because it kind of messed with some siding patterns. So this is kind of the main hand trap lineup and K9s, and then for the Vanquish cards, wow, surprising, I played 3 Holy Sue, good card, crazy, every time it resolved, I won the game. Raisin, less good than Holy Sue, but still crazy card. Mad Love, to be honest, this card was crazy today. A lot of people, like, they especially when Mignon is on the field, they think they can kind of get away with this card. Like, they don't care about its effect. So you're, like, manipulating the attack. You're only paying attention to the attack stat. But the bounce effect is quite relevant, especially into the Yummy matchup. All of their guys have little defense. The only one that has a higher defense than Mad Love, I'm pretty sure, is one of the Synchros, which has 2200, and you don't care about that card. You're not going to let them get that far if you go first. And going second, the damage step modification effect, a lot of people forget it has that, and so you can kind of catch them by, haha, surprise. And I played 2 Jiaolong. For the longest time, I've only played one of this card. I really don't want to... I don't want this deck to catch the allegations that it's bricky. I don't really think it is. Like, if you look at the ratios of the number of starters to bricks in this deck, I don't think it actually bricks that much. Especially in a past format where we voluntarily played Mitsurugi. Like, that was crazy. That deck's bricky as heck. This deck is far less bricky than that. Jiaolong was very good today. All of the effects of all of these Vanquish little monsters came up. I loved all of them. The reasoning for 2, by the way, why I switched from 1 to 2 is because Small World Bridge, you don't want, if you need to banish one to get to an Azuna or something, then you kind of lose access later. Also, you get into more grind games now, and so the second Jiaolong comes up in that sense. But the other reason is you can high roll them by opening Jiaolong, and the only other fires that you could have in your deck are like Ash Raisin, and just having the ability during their turn to go Holy Sue Jiaolong, Jiaolong reveal 2 Fire Surge, like just auto wins you the game. I did get to do that once today. That was very fun. I play 1 Borger. I love Santoli, but I just don't know why you would ever play any more of this card. I just catch it. I just use it when I need it. Like, you get Charmed, you try to draw 1 on your turn, 1 on their turn to equal card advantage. And since you're playing hand traps, the likelihood that you draw into something live is pretty free. I played 1 Caesar. This card's crazy, but you don't really want to play more of it, more than one of it. This is this is like your Mirakumo, okay? You don't play multiple of that card. And then I played Protoss. This card is terrible. However, there's one reason for playing it in the deck. Since I play Small World and I play 3 Nib, when you go first, you keep the Nibs in typically into every matchup. Because even Draco Tail has to like kind of commit to push through the end board. And I also don't have anything else for that deck anyway. Because your matchup into that deck is like almost 100% win rate. Like, even if they play perfectly, I think they almost always lose. Whether you go first or second. But 11-star monster Dark. It's the only 11-star Dark monster in the game that I could find that has any utility value. I resolved its effect once, and I lost that game. It was nearly an unwinnable game state anyway, but, you know, we tried. For Spells and Traps, 3 Stake Your Soul. This card is fine. It felt worse today because of the attributes. I had more lights in my deck than I usually would, but it's okay. For other Vanquish Soul cards, 1 Start. Shout out to everybody who ogred this card and lost anyway. Reinforcement of the Army. Prosp. I'm not playing Extra because I don't like that card, but Prosperity is crazy. You just get to fix your hand, especially in this deck, because you can just grab any attribute that you need, right? And then I played 2 Small World. I contemplated playing 3 of this card, but it doesn't work out for the ratios that this deck wants to have. You mostly want to have monsters. You don't want to, especially going second, you don't want to have a bunch of random spell cards. And the deck doesn't need it. It's powerful enough as it is. And then obviously the 1 Snow Devil. I think the main deck is pretty self-explanatory besides like maybe the Proto stuff. I think it makes sense. If I were to make changes to the main deck, honestly, I really missed Bell today. Bell's just so free into everything. And DD Crow, I know it's like not the best card in the world, but it does actually have application in the mirror, especially going second, and it's a dark, which is nice. But I think the deck was fine. No one respected Nib all day. Shout out to everybody who didn't respect it and got nibbed. Anyway, so for the extra deck, Shocker, I played the Link one that lets this deck work. I played SP, which also lets this deck work. I played Vanquish Soul Rocks, which was the only purpose of this guy was to make an SP Little Knight. I played 1 Ripper. Probably should have played 2 of this actually, because there were some game states where it came up, but I think if you play correctly, generally, you don't ever really need a second one, and that'll come up in a second as to why. I played Werewolf Man. Werewolf Man is good. I only summoned him once. I'm gonna be honest. So this stuff's not in the main deck, right? So it's obviously in the side deck, if you caught on to that. And this is not necessary for the deck to win going first. I think it's almost incredibly win more But I like it into Board Breaker Yummy if people are still on that, because they actually have a small chance of winning going second due to variance, and I don't like the idea of losing the variance. So this is kind of like the Vanquish Long Line Canine package, and now for like utility cards of the deck. I played Nash Knight, was going to play 2 of this, but then before the event I was like, I have never made 2 in a match, like why am I double sucking these people? No way. At least with the Nash Knight. Then we have the Chaos Nash, and then we have the 101 package. This came up, surprisingly, a lot. You make Zeus, it's crazy, and it can't be targeted if you make it with Lupus. For other utility, Valon, this card honestly didn't come up that much at all, but in testing it did, so obviously I included it. And the reason why I don't play 2 Ripper is because I play Vamana. Vamana has a very important application in this deck is because it's really the only way you can beat over Liger without resorting to attempting to just burn them for game, which does not work all the time. You have a good matchup into that deck going first. I don't think there's actually feasibly anything they can do to you if they don't stop you with hand traps, because your guys can't be destroyed due to the trap. You burn for 18, and you just keep burning for 15. Not much they can do about that, because the field spell protects Borger once per turn. And you can recycle the Borger later in the turn with Rock. But the other reason is because against Draco Tail, this deck actually has a hard problem beating over 3k guys, and that's all that deck does is make a 3k fusion that doesn't do anything. So you want to kill it. So Vamana's good at that, and also Vamana can be made during their turn, or after like you Typhon on a following turn in order to like get a really beefy guy that is also a monster negate. And then the last rank 5 utility card, I always liked it. I don't know why people don't like this card, is Kinkiri. Kinkiri comes up a lot because Kinkiri is very good in the mirror match, especially if you do enter a grind game and they play a lot during your turn, or they lupus you and then they get the lupus engrave. But the other reason is you can do these really sick lines with this card where you have to hold your Holy Sue effect for later and you can't get out of the grave because you had to use Rock to get an attribute back. So you can make Kinkiri later in the combo once you go through your Canine cards to get the Holy Sue or the Jiaolong back on field and then resolve your search. Makes the board much, much more difficult to beat. The Battle Phase effect has come up in testing when you crash a level 5 guy or something, but usually it doesn't. So those are the utility cards. And then Zeus, best card in my deck, crazy. Any format where Zeus is good is a good format. Also crazy because, I don't know, I just queued into 5 Vanquish, 5 Draco Tail players today, yesterday, is Typhon. Typhon's nuts. Deck literally can't do anything if you make this in defense. Shout out to Typhon. Cool. So that's that. Side deck. I did not want to play 3 Lancia, but I was really afraid. Shout out to Matt Grooms for showing up with Malice and getting, I believe, 3rd place. Cool guy. Love him. But he plays Malice, and I was honestly just really afraid of him specifically, so I included Lancia. This deck does not have a tough time into Malice, but it's nice to have an option to kind of just auto-win. 3 Perulia, this is for the mirror match, and the other thing for the mirror match is Impermanence. These were fine. These probably should have been anything else. The Perulia obviously stays in just in case some of the old decks come through, but I would love them to be other cards just to have a breath of fresh air into the tech slots post side. The Imperium was like okay. I just never saw it at times when it was super impactful. I think in theory it makes sense because you can Imperm the Ripper and this puts them under threat of Nib, so it makes them play worse or it makes them play greedy, whichever one of those. Turns out to be the case is a winning scenario for you because they play into Nib. So that's those. And then these are the other 2 Phantasme. Apologies for the art that I have for them, but this is what I got. Phantasme is crazy. I don't think I ever lost a game where this card resolved. It just like lets you get so much advantage, sculpts your hand. So good. I love this card. And then for the other Yummy Hate, Phantasme is obviously Yummy Hate, is this card. This card, it never came up. I never really needed the Floodgate effect. You can just beat Yummy natively with your engine usually, as long as you're not, you play hand traps, right? So you minimize the board state enough that your Vanquishable cards are like super impactful. But TC Boo is free. I don't know why you wouldn't play it. You decided going first or second. And then for the other cards, Case for Canine, Lantern, and Force Release. These only really came up in one match all day where I really needed the push because the opponent was like very good. And when your opponent is very good, you need cards that are very high quality, even if you're playing well. Canine Force Release is nuts. Lantern won me my last match. Shout out to him. This card's fine, whatever. If you're playing 3 of this card, that's, I guess, whatever. A lot of my... for the VS Canine opponents that I beat, they were all playing 3 of this. They kept bricking on it. It doesn't do anything if I don't hand trap you. And in the mirror, you don't actually have to hand trap to beat them. You just have to be a better player. And shout out to the tokens, my boys. So that's the profile. Shout outs to my testing group, especially the following people. Drew, Alex, Matt, Esteban, Ryan, people from locals that I play with that are also good people and get some solid testing in, like Sean, Sam, people like that. Really appreciate them. Also appreciate my brothers, Pearson and Da Vinci, who have always been there with me through Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff, and so I appreciate them, and awesome game. Great format. If you didn't like last format because it was if you didn't like last format because it was dog shit, just dice rolls, you'd love this format because you actually get rewarded for skillful gameplay. Anyway, so that's the deck. Shout out to Rocks for being a good card. Shout out to the Vanquish slow cards for having main deck monster effects that are actually good and not being Snake Eye. Okay, that's it. Thanks. Bye.